session of the day 2 is actually session 3. We are having our coordinator Sri Abhishek Pal as the speaker for this session. Let me introduce him. He is currently serving as the head of the department in the Department of Computer Science and Technology at this college, Dr. Bidhannagar Polytechnic. He has got 14 plus years of experience in academic field. He has done 2 MTechs, one in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Dr. B.C. Roy Engineering College in 2011 and later an MTech in Computer Science and Technology from Dr. B.C. Roy Engineering College. Currently he is pursuing his PhD from CSIR CNRI Durgapur. With this brief introduction, may I please request Sri Abhishek Pal to kindly step forward, and may I please request the HOD from the Department of Basic Science and Humanities, Sri Bidhannagar Ghosh, to kindly felicitate him with a flower bouquet. Sir, please. With these few introductory words, may I now request our current speaker, Sri Abhishek Pal, to kindly start the session.
Hello. A very good morning to everybody present over here. So today we are having a session on cloud technology, as the theme of the event or FDP program is cloud technology. Now, before going into the depth of this thing, one thing I have felt after attending some FDPs, that most of the cases it would be a boring session. Now, as this is probably first or second time I am just in this place, and most of the cases I was in that place, so I felt that this should not be like that. So first I will try to make this event a very interactive one, so that everybody can understand the basics of cloud technology. There are lots of different things are there in cloud technology as well as IoT, but if you will just go into that much deeper sense, then it would be a boring session. So, first of all, how many of you have used cloud in your whole life? Or till now, how many of you have used cloud in their daily life? Okay. So, one thing I am very much sure that nowadays, if I will not say that I am not a person who is not using cloud, then that means I don't have smartphone, I don't have access to internet, and I don't have any gadgets with me. That means if you have gadgets, if you have smartphone, if you have laptop, it is for sure that you have to use this cloud technology. Now, this is the first thing. What should be the next thing? Can you name a few cloud technology that we are using now? Google Drive, Google Cloud. Google Cloud is used. Okay. Then I will go to that part also. Any Collab. Collab. Okay. So, as per my title of the topic is Cloud and IoT Convergence. So I will discuss some basics of cloud as well as IoT, and then how they are converging in today's world, and how it will become a smart solution for the future generation. So it's a model of ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network to a shared pool of configuration. Now, can you tell me that what is the difference between a traditional computing and cloud computing? Anybody? And why we are shifting towards cloud? And what was the motto in that time? And why people are just shifting towards cloud technology? Because traditional computing is there and it is also present over here. But still, why people are shifting towards this cloud technology?
I think we have to store more data.
Okay, one answer. Any more answer from the students who are from MC department?
Sir, as in case of cloud technologies, so what happens is
You may sit and answer.
okay. Sir, in case of normal computing technologies, what we see is that it is not scalable in nature. But in case of cloud, it can be easily scaled up and scaled down as per our requirements. But that is not in case of a traditional computer.
Okay, okay. So that is what we would like to, do or that is demystify the term which is related to cloud technology. Because he has said one thing, scalability. Now, what is scalability? Why we want to a scalable solution for our technology? Any other answer? Why you are shifting towards the cloud computing?
I think we need some real-time collaborating working environment that is achieved by the cloud technology.
Okay. So one is scalability.
The hard disk on our computer can be limited.
Hardware. Hard disk is limited. That's why we want more storage capacity so that we can store so many data. And one more answer, that collaborative work. Because nowadays collaboration is very much required for any kind of
less investment in infrastructure, more secure,
more secure. Because yesterday we had two sessions, one more session, that is the first session taken by Professor Bidhannagar, that is on cloud security. So that in that session we have learned that how this cloud technology or the security of cloud technology is very much important. And the next session, which was dedicated to amalgamation of ML as well as cloud. Any other answer? One is scalability, one issue. Anything? Another one is collaboration. Okay. Storage is another answer. Two answers we have got, that students or the participants or the people used to cloud because in their life, one somebody said Google Collaboratory, another one is Google Drive. Any other answer?
It can be portability, right? We can use it from anywhere around the world.
Okay. As because we are in this profession, in teaching or in any other profession, where, say for example, I have prepared one PPT, and before presentation, I just forgot to carry my pen drive. Now, if it is one thing you can answer that if it is attached in your mail, you can also download. But there is one more solution. We just say that Google Drive. Drive is a option where you can just store the data, and as per our requirement, we can download it. Second thing, what do you mean by cloud? What is the meaning of cloud?
Sir, placing we have a CPU at our home, or we use it in our workplace. But if I have that CPU somewhere else, like I am using it through internet, I am sitting here in West Bengal, I am using a CPU from which is located in America or anywhere in the world. So CPU should be a wrong word, but to say a particular hardware, a particular system, which I can get access through internet only. So
Okay.
yeah.
Any other answer? What is cloud? We expect a bit about this thing because we are attending our FDP on cloud, so we should have a basic of this cloud. One thing is it a network? Is it any kind of network?
Yes.
Okay. See some resources, what I have said, rapid network storage, network server, storage application and services. These are the requirement of a cloud. Now, suppose in the earlier days, we had a machine, standalone machine, where the data are stored. Now, if my friend or anybody wants to access my computer, he or she has to come to my home and pick the data from me. But nowadays, there is an option, you can share it through the Google Drive or any other option. One more thing, that is, they all are, nowadays, whenever the cloud or internet came into the market, in that case, we have to have an internet connection, and if that machine is connected to internet, anybody from any place, they can access that data. That is the beauty of a cloud technology. Now, here I have just given some examples like Dropbox. Have you used Dropbox? Anybody? Before the use of this Google Drive, we generally used to use this Dropbox, where we just put the data. It is same like the Google Drive. YouTube. Now these are the services. We will come to the different services of cloud technology. That is software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Now, what is the meaning of this thing? That we will come. So by this picture, we can understand that somewhere, all the machines are connected in the right side picture. We are seeing some data center, picture of data center as well as servers who are connected by some network, and they are able to share the data. Why cloud matters? See, say for example, Rohan, urban person, wants to set up his own company, but he has limited, he is not financially that much capable to set up a big company or infrastructure. In that case, he need to use this cloud. And there comes this agility, quick setup of services. Suppose in order to set up a service without having cloud technology, we have to put effort, time, so that I can, it maybe take 1 month or 2 months to set up these things. But if we are shifting to cloud, we are able to do it in a very smoother manner and also in a lesser time. Set up elasticity, that is scale up or scale down. Somebody just said scalability. What is the meaning of this scalability? Suppose let me give one example. If there is a possibility, say for example, I am having 6 family members in my home. Now we want to go for a weekend tour. In that case, I have to hire a car, but every time we are hiring a car, so one day we thought, just let's buy a car. Now, it is a 7-seater car, but after 2 to 4 years, the family members become 8 now. By some means, it is 8 now. Then, should I have to buy another car? But in that case, without buying the car, we can use the services of the tour operator, and they can provide a scalable solution. That means for the 4 person, they can provide us a car of 5-seater, or for 7 or 8-seater. That is as per our requirement. Now, cloud is scalable, means elasticity or scalability. That means we can scale down and scale up as per our requirement, and we will pay as per the requirement of us. If it is a 4-seater car or 5-seater car, then we will have to pay less. But for the higher capacity, we will have to pay more. Cost efficiency. In that case, I have just mentioned that person who is trying to establish a company. In that case, he is not having that much financial capability. In that case, what he can do, he can pay as per his requirement. Global access. Cloud can be accessed from anywhere as it is connected to internet. Only you have to have a web browser and internet connection, access the data which is required. Okay, benefits. One thing I have said that reduce capital expenditure as per pay as you go on model. See, John McCarthy, who is the person who coined this term cloud technology, he just said one thing, that one day our computing would be like a utility. Like the way we used to pay the water bill, electricity bill or any other utility bill, in the same way our cloud or the computing facility would be like that. That means as per our requirement, it is like a utility. As per our requirement, we can pay, and we can just lesser we pay, lesser our requirement. Okay. Anywhere, anytime, any access, that we have just discussed. Scalability we have also discussed. What do you mean by flexibility? Anybody can just throw some light on flexibility. What is flexibility? In the context of cloud technology, what is the meaning of flexibility? Anybody?
Sir, flexibility, as the name suggests, that the cloud system is actually flexible in different kinds of contexts. Suppose one family member who is actually using the cloud technology, just like Google Drive, for him, 1 TB may be sufficient for his or her own use. But whereas in case of enterprise systems, whenever that enterprise will be utilizing it, for them it is not that. For them, 10 TB or 20 TB that will be much more sufficient for them.
Okay. Is there any person who can answer that? How many storage capacity the Google Drive, the normal Google Drive, used to offer? 15. Okay. Now, in that case, is there anybody who has just shifted the more option like 30 GB or 40 GB packet? Is there anybody? Okay. That will come. How many GB is offer? I mean,
It's 100 GB.
100 GB. How much you have to pay for that? 1300 for the whole year.
Yes.
For the whole year, you have to pay 100. So one person you have to. That means you are having more data.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it I mean research data or any other?
Say documents and all everything which I have to secure like cloud option. Like if I have it in a hard disk, I don't know like that will be corrupted in a few. Like this have happened to me many times. Like
One more thing, whenever I am preparing the PPT, it came to my mind that in our earlier days, so many people, those who are sitting over here, they have lost so many data, pictures in their life. It may be some memory, which you cannot return that back in your life, and some documents also. Even maybe your first MTech presentation, that is not maybe no longer with you. The BTech presentation no longer with you. But nowadays, if you want to keep that is possible. Even the students who are in the school life, they are also using the Google Drive or these kind of things. What is the meaning of centralized security measures? See what Professor Bidhannagar was saying yesterday. That is, whenever we are shifting to cloud technology, that would be a secure option. But for us, most of the cases, whenever we were using the standalone machine, what was the option we used to maintain for securing the data? Ki kota honda? Antivirus, password. Okay. That was the thing. But for a small organization, server, that is also possible. Disaster recovery and business continuity, that is a part. What does it mean by disaster? Say due to some problem, your hard disk may be corrupted or collapsed, or maybe due to some problem, you are just losing the data. In that case, if you are having the cloud technology, you can just maintain that. How many of you heard about Amazon Web Services, AWS? These are the AWS. We had a hands-on session yesterday, that's why AWS is there. Any other web service provider who are providing the cloud technology? CloudED. Any other option? Google Cloud. Now, why, as a general user, is there any requirement for AWS? For a general people like us, I mean, those who are not using the cloud in day-to-day life, is there any requirement? What would be the requirement of that?
Just like using Google Drive, we can use S3 bucket to store the objects of store the documents.
Okay. Any other option for which we are relying on this kind of services, AWS, Azure? Those are not developed.
For business purpose,
What kind of business purpose? That is what I
suppose I have a website, so I want to connect with my server. So in that case, we have to use AWS.
Not exactly, but I think one thing I can feel that you have attended the last session, hands-on session in a very careful manner. That is the result of it. So now there are some comparison between traditional computing and cloud computing. One by one we will go with this. First of all, on-premises hardware and software and remote servers and internet-based services. On-premises means we are, say in our organization, normally before internet we have to build a network connection. Now, how this network can be formed? Suppose you want to connect two computers. What is the basic things? How we can connect the computers? By where? See, one network devices should be there. Then somewhere, if it is a wireless connection, different option, but let it be a wire connection. The first thing which is needed, two or more computer, one network devices. What are the different network devices are there? Hub switches, router. These are the different devices. Router is a bit different. Now, how they will be connected? If we just connect it physically, is it possible for them to communicate? How generally we used to, how they used to communicate? It is a end-to-end communication. If you just consider it end-to-end communication, machine-to-machine communication, then how it is possible? First of all, we need to have a network device, say a switch, to machine, a computer, laptop, desktop. Can they directly connect with each other? If two machines are there, can we connect them without having a hub switch?
Yes. You can connect.
Have you ever tried it? What it is?
With a cross cable.
With
With a cross cable.
a cross cable. Actually, there are two kind of cables are there for connecting two machines. One is cross cable and straight cable. Straight cable for different objects, like a switch with a computer or laptop, that is a cross cable, because a straight cable. But for two same device, two laptop, if you want to connect them by a wire, then that is a cross cable. So what is straight cable, what is cross cable? This is a part of network, computer network, but still there are some wires, that wire is known as CAT or category cable, category 5, 6 or different parts are there. Inside that cable, some wires are there. So 4 pairs of wire are there inside that CAT cable. We will have to remove the upper coating, and finally we will get the 8 wire, and they will be connected in a sequence or in a manner. One is known as straight cable, one is known as cross cable. Now, internet connection, how you will get the internet connection? First they will connect, say 4 machines are there. You are having one switch. The wire from your machine will be connected to the switch, and in that way 4 machines will be connected to the switch, and they all are connected. So if you want to flood the data from anywhere, anybody can having the access of it. Karo kono problem thakle je keu access korte pare. Now, how that machine will be connected to internet? কিভাবে ইন্টারনেটের সঙ্গে কানেকশন হবে? এক তো গেল তোমার ফার্স্ট একটা তোমার হাফ বা সুইচ থাকলো, 4টে মেশিনকে দিলাম, 4টে মেশিন কানেক্টেড করে দিল। How we will get the internet connection in this kind of environment? যেখানে 4টে মেশিন আছে, 4 machines are there, network switch is there, and they all are connected. One thing I just mentioned that they are physically connected. How they will be logically connected? তারা কি কমিউনিকেট করতে পারবে? ফিজিক্যাল তো তার দিয়ে কানেকশন করে দিলাম।
মানে উইদাউট ওয়্যার
না,
আচ্ছা
তার দিয়ে কানেক্ট করে দিলাম। তার দিয়ে কানেক্ট করলে কি মানে আমরা ডেটা শেয়ারিং করতে পারবো? Why? This is actually known as physical connection. Now we have to have a logical connection also. সেই লজিক্যাল কানেকশনের জন্য every machine will have to give what? An address, which is known as IP address, Internet Protocol address. Now, after assigning IP address to all these machines, they can communicate with each other. That means, in order to have a network, all machines must be connected with each other. That is the thing, a physical connection. After that, we need to have a logical connection. That means we will have to give or assign an IP address or Internet Protocol address. It is like same like, say for example, if I want to communicate with a person over phone, and if I don't have the mobile phone number of that person, it is not possible to communicate. Maybe we are having telephone, but we are not having that telephone number, mobile number. Okay, so we were discussing on-premises hardware and software. In the second case, remote servers and internet-based services. So first of all, এখানে তো কানেকশন হয়ে গেল, they need internet connection. যেটা বলছিলাম, internet connection কি দরকার? Internet, say for example, one machine, you just discussed one thing, that remotely you want to communicate with a server where your data are stored. But in that case also, physically we are not connected, because that machine is present in the USA, a data center or a server where you want to communicate or you want to access the data. Is it only, they are not physically connected. So how they are connected? Or if I just if I just want to share a data with all of you, আমরা physically connected, network is there. How they are connected? They all need to have a address. সেই অ্যাড্রেসটা IP address তো বললাম, IP address এর সিঙ্গেলি একটা IP address দিয়ে সবাই কানেক্টেড করতে পারবে? There are 2 type of IP addresses. MCA যারা আছে তাদের জানা উচিত যে নেটওয়ার্ক IP address এর দুটো পার্ট ছিল, V4 and V6 is there, but there are 2, the IP address which we used to provide in the local area network, that is not same for the WA, wide area network. Or some same now. How they are different? It has got public and private. This one is the private one. Public one is the public IP is the requirement for internet access. So remotely, if you want to communicate with each other, then we need to have a IP address which should be a physical, public IP address. And now the thing is that if you are having an organization where 100 machines are there, for getting IP address, that is the public IP address, should I have to buy 100 IP addresses? Because in that case, we will have to buy IP address. But the private IP address, which is in my own hand, we can assign it according to our own use. যতগুলো লাগবে ততগুলো আমরা অ্যাসাইন করে দিলাম, জাস্ট মেশিনে গেলাম, there is a ways of assigning IP address, we can do it by your own. কিন্তু আমরা তো ইন্টারনেট অ্যাক্সেস করি in our mobile phone as well as in our laptop, আমরা কি IP address assign করি নিজে থেকে গিয়ে? How they will be ইন্টারনেটে কানেক্ট করতে হলো, there will be dynamically allocate some IP address. Though it is not a public IP address, it is also a private one, but that is dynamically allocated. Your service provider, that means ISP, internet service provider, they are having 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 public IP address. They used to distribute that public IP address in a manner so that everybody, say 1,000, 2,000 or 5,000 people are there who will be provided IP address. Now whenever you are turning off your internet connection, in the same time that IP address will be allocated to some other person. So these are the basic things about the internet connection, because cloud, before cloud you have to know what is internet, how they are connected, and how we are going to use it. So on-premise hardware and software, and remote server and remote internet-based services. So what is internet-based services? That is bit clear to us, that how they are connected, how we are able to connect with the internet connection. Internet. IT infrastructure managed by business organization, IT infrastructure managed by cloud provider. What is the meaning of that? In the first case, I just said a person who wants to set up a small organization, 10 to 15 employees are there, they will have to manage everything in the traditional computing. But in the case of cloud computing, what we will have to do? Just do one thing. You are having 2 persons, you want to start a business, you want to start an IT business, no issue. Just buy whatever you want to buy, scale as per your requirement. If you are having small requirement, you can just buy or pay as per your requirement. You don't have to buy a server, you don't have to buy a computer which is TPU capability, I mean which is not CPU, TPU darkar nahi. Just try to access or just enroll yourself or register yourself, open an account, and you will get the access of that. Computing resources access from a specific location, and computing resources access from anywhere with internet. That is, I say, because in that previous traditional computing, your company is situated in Durgapur, so internet connection is not there, only locally they are connected, they can manage the local machine. But in the case of remote access is there. That means, say, if your employee, which is not in your main office, who is in a tool, but he has prepared some PPT, which needs to be presented on that day. But in that case, anybody can, if they are having cloud access, they can just download it and present it on behalf of you. Business organization responsible for their own security. Cloud providers have robust security measures, which I have just said. Traditional computing is ota dorkar, tomar nijer theke manage korte hobe, but here it is not required. Components. Clients, data center, distributed servers. এটা দেখেছো সবাই মোটামুটি। Server, what is server? By the way, we used to say this term very often. Server. What is server?
Server, that computer that gives us service of any kind of service. In a simple term.
It's in a simple term, which used to provide some services, any kind of services. Teacher, who used to teach us. Server, who used to give us services. It is nothing but a computer which is having a higher computing capabilities. যার একটা higher computing capabilities আছে, সে আমাকে একটা সার্ভিস প্রোভাইড করতে হচ্ছে, তাই আমি তাকে সার্ভার হিসেবে বলছি। এরপরে ছোট অর্গানাইজেশন, যখন ট্র্যাডিশনাল কম্পিউটারে কি হতো, ইউ উইল হ্যাভ টু বাই আ সার্ভার, তোমার মেশিনকে কানেক্ট করতে হতো। সার্ভারে কি থাকতো? ওয়েব সার্ভার হতে পারে, ইমেল সার্ভার হতে পারে, there are different type of servers are there, email server, web server, তারা বিভিন্ন রকমের সার্ভিসেস প্রোভাইড করে। বাট ফর cloud computing, তোমার এই সার্ভার কেনার দরকার নেই। if you want to use a web server, তুমি ওই অ্যাক্সেস করো, ওই টাকা অ্যামাউন্ট দিয়ে দাও, ইন্টারনেট ক্যাপাবিলিটি থাকো, তুমি ওটা ইউজ করতে পারো। ডেটা সেন্টার, have you heard about data center? ডেটা সেন্টার জিনিসটা সবাই শুনেছো, সবাই জানো। ডেটা সেন্টার জিনিসটা ওই যেখানে অনেক সার্ভার একসাথে আছে। ডেটা সেন্টারের কেউ চাইলে একটা পিকচার দেখতে পারে, যেখানে লটস অফ সার্ভারস আর ইনস্টল, যেখানে হয়তো দেখা যাচ্ছে যে তোমার গোটা পৃথিবীর সব ডেটা ওখানে রয়েছে। মাইক্রোসফটের কোনো একটা সার্ভার ডেটা। এরপরে ডিস্ট্রিবিউটেড সার্ভারসটা কি? এটা একটা ছোট্ট জিনিস বলি। সে উই আর ইউজিং গুগল সার্চ ইঞ্জিন, সবাই গুগল সার্চ ইঞ্জিন ইউজ করছে। তাহলে must have to store something in a server. Google কোথাও একটা server মধ্যে store করে রেখেছে. Is it a single server, single machine where everything is stored? Or are they located in the same place? সব সার্ভার গুলো একটা জায়গায় আছে, ডেটা সেন্টারে আছে, একটাই ডেটা সেন্টার। এই কোশ্চেন গুলো হওয়া যেতে পারে। তাহলে সেটা কোথায় আছে? Where they are they geographically located or dispersed? I mean geographically located in the same place or dispersed location? কোথায় আছে? Dispersed location. তাহলে if one data center or server, say for example 5 servers of Google are not functioning properly, malfunction করছে, তাহলে কি we are not getting that services of Google? পাবো না? পাবো না পাবো? কেন তাহলে পাচ্ছি কেন? They are distributed manner they are connected. মানে কেউ একজন ডিজাস্টারের কারণে যদি বন্ধ হয়ে যায়, প্রবলেম হয়ে যায় ওই সার্ভার বা ওই ডেটা সেন্টারে, ওর ডেটাগুলোকে অন্য জায়গায় রেপ্লিকেট করে নেওয়া, সেটা ওরা করে ফেলে। এবং উইথে there are lots of algorithms are there যারা ওই ব্যাকএন্ডে কাজ করছে, ওই কাজটাকে সঙ্গে সঙ্গে চেঞ্জ করে। ক্লায়েন্টস তো আমরা এন্ড ইউজার, এগুলো কিছু জিনিস আছে। ভার্চুয়ালাইজেশন এর ব্যাপারে, ভার্চুয়ালাইজেশন have you heard the term VM?
Yes.
VM কি করে? How many of you install virtual machine? করেছি আমরা? হ্যাঁ করেছি।
Linux install করেছি।
মানে parallelly you have installed two machines. আচ্ছা, have you used VMware? নয়না তো করেছে VMware।
ওই ভুলে গেলাম।
এক্সপার্ট মানুষ সামনে সামনে অনেকদিন বসে আছে, সুমন্তদা কই আইআইটি পড়ালে সুমন্তদা থাকে। হ্যাঁ, যাই হোক VMware মানে মোটামুটি একটা জিনিস, একটা ধরুন প্ল্যাটফর্ম দিচ্ছে যেখানে আমি গেলাম, একটা ওয়েস চুজ করলাম অ্যাকর্ডিং টু আওয়ার ওন ইউজ, ওকে হাউ মাচ RAM we want to provide সেটা বলে দিলাম, কতটা তোমার কি বলে ক্যাপাবিলিটি বা কোন প্রসেসর আমি নিতে চাই সেটাও বলে দিলাম, ফিক্স করে দিলাম। তোমার রিকোয়ারমেন্ট হয়তো ছোট্ট একটা কোনো জিনিস চালানো, এবং তুমি চাইছো যে ওটা কাজ শেষ হবে সঙ্গে সঙ্গে আনইনস্টল করবে, তুমি মেইন মেশিনে তুমি ভারী করে দিলে ব্যাপারটা। জাস্ট ইনস্টল VMware where you can just use or install the operating system as per your requirement. There you can just install the application which you want to practice. কোনো কিছু প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে, কোনো সার্ভিস করে নিলাম, জাস্ট ইনস্টল। VMware তাহলে একটা ছোট্ট মেশিন, where VMware একটা application or virtual machine is a concept where it is a replica or small version or instance of a whole operating system or a machine. It is actually utility computing, বলছিলাম একটু গ্রিড কম্পিউটিং, যেখানে গ্রিডের মধ্যে কানেক্টেড। আচ্ছা, ক্লাউডের কিছু ডিপ্লয়মেন্ট মডেলস আছে, পাবলিক, প্রাইভেট, হাইব্রিড, কমিউনিটি। মোস্ট অফ দ্য কেসেস ফর এনি কাইন্ড অফ অ্যাপ্লিকেশন আমরা কিন্তু এই হাইব্রিড মডেলে যাই। উই ইউজ টু use the hybrid model. Therefore, public, what is public? What is private? Say you want a dedicated server for your organization. That is a private cloud computing model, deployment model. But if your requirement is not that much secure requirement, then in that case you can use the public model. Okay. So as per your requirement, most of the cases you will have to use the private one. Then you will have to pay more amount of money. Community is different. See here the hardware and the storage machine. This is a concept of virtualization, where in the end there is network or storage, then the virtual infrastructure, and in this machine or virtual cloud model, 4 machines are there. Virtual machine 1, 2 and 3. Three machines are there, and they are having different operating system as well as they are having the different applications. Paper use, একটু আগে বলছিলাম utility means as per the utility like the water bill, electricity bill or any kind of utility we are paying as per our requirement. It is actually known as utility company. Some terms we are using, just go and search it so that you can get a good concept of this kind of term. Cloud architecture, it should have a backend as well as front end. We are just sitting in in the front end, and in the back end we are not bothered that what is happening in the back end or in the behind the curtain. But there is some technology which is there. Now, as whenever communication is there, it must have some layer, because layering is there. Those who have studied network or computer network, whenever a machine wants to communicate with another machine, it must have to follow some steps or layer. They will have to pass some layers. Like there are two kind of layers are there. Layer or architectures are there. One is OSIs and another one is OSI model is there for computer network. Another model is TCP. Both have some layers. 7 layers are there. In the same manner, cloud do have 4 layers. One is the user and client layer, network layer, cloud management layer, and hardware resource layer. In that case, that means in normal network, 7 layers like application presentation session in this way, up to physical layers are there. Physical layers is the place where physically they are connected, and application is the place where the application resides. In the same way, cloud will have the 4 layers. Okay. Now comes to the cloud service model. We will just try to move into this part. There are main 3 services are provided by cloud. But nowadays, there are lots of services are present. Everything has the services. There is a term. There is a term, everything has a service. That means, just name it. You will get a service from the cloud provider, cloud service provider. They will provide you with the services. But the basic one is this 3 one. First of all, software as a services, platform as a services, and infrastructure as a services. Now, what is this? কোথায় ইউজ হয় কি ব্যাপার সফটওয়্যার as a service, সফটওয়্যারটাকে সার্ভিস হিসেবে পাওয়া যায়. By this name we can just understand. Here comes again the example. Software as a service টা কোথায় আমরা পাই, আমরা ইউজ করি কি? হ্যাঁ, এর নাম শুনি গুগল তো থেকে শুনবো।
Google Drive,
গুগল ড্রাইভ,
Word, Excel,
অনলাইন
হ্যাঁ,
Word, Excel,
অনলাইন
Google Sheet,
মাইক্রোসফট 365
হ্যাঁ, মাইক্রোসফট 365 এটা কি মডেল? আচ্ছা, what about platform as a service? Any example?
SAP, SAP, CRM,
Where they will just provide you a platform. That means, say, platform as a services, it means similar. Say you just want to build your own car, but in that case, you are not having all these machines which is required. But some companies is providing the machines which is required for that. যা লাগে লেদ মেশিন বা বড় বড় ডিফারেন্ট টাইপের মেশিনস লাগে একটা মেশিন তোমার কার বানাতে বাইক বানাতে, so they will just provide all these things as a platform. You just go and build your own car or bike. তোমার নিজের মতো তুমি নিজের মতো বানাতে পারো, কিন্তু you have to have expertise on that. কিন্তু you don't have to invest on these machines. যেখানে তোমার মেশিনগুলো দরকার নেই. They are just providing you the platform where go and just build or design your own car or bike and have a machine. So that is a bit similar to platform as a service, where you are just provided, cloud service provider is just providing you the platform where you can deploy or build your own software or application, which is required. If possible, we will just go to this AWS Elastic, Beanstalk, as well as Heroku. Have you ever used any platform as a services? আমার মনে হয় না কেউ করেছে। কেউ কি করেছে? কি করেছিস? কোনটা বলতো?
SAP use করেছো?
আচ্ছা,
আর Udo বলে একটা Python আছে।
okay. Have you ever used Google Collaboratory? Collab, যেটা বলি আমরা। Collab use করছো Python coding এর জন্য। Now, is it a SaaS or PaaS, platform as a service? platform where they will give you a platform, a service provider, where you can deploy your own machine. Deploy your own machine. Nowadays, they all are AI or ML enabled. Jai kaaj korbe AI enabled ba. So I just request everybody, they just go to any pass providing site or provider and just have a look how they are providing the services. Okay. Now comes the lower level, that means the infrastructure services. You need to have a infrastructure. মানে অনেকটা এটা কিন্তু পুরো ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচারটাই তোমাকে সার্ভিস হিসেবে দিয়ে দিচ্ছে। দ্যাট মিন্স আ ল্যান্ড, যেখানে তুমি তোমার মতন করে কোনো ওয়ার্কশপ বানাবে না, তুমি কার ডিজাইনের ওয়ার্কশপ you can build or you can design or you can establish a college or school according to your own need. You can just deploy that. তুমি তোমার মতো প্ল্যাটফর্ম বানাও, you can just use it as a software application provider services as per your requirements. Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform, DigitalOcean. These are the provider we use to provide services. Software as a service গুলো আমরা বলেছি, Google Workspace, Microsoft Office 365. মার্কেট শেয়ার, এটা একটা স্টাডি দেখছিলাম আমরা, মার্কেট শেয়ার কার কতটা কি আছে। AWS যেটার উপর আমরা হ্যান্ডস অন করছি, that is the main player, market player. Second one is Azure and Google Cloud is 12% market. Alibaba Cloud, Asia field, Alibaba China-based company who used to provide the services also. They are the IaaS, that means infrastructure as a service. They used to provide the infrastructure as a service. The revenue is 91 billion. Now we will move to the IoT technology. First one is the cloud, basics of cloud. Then we will move to the IoT, basics of IoT, and finally we will move to a term which is cloud of things. We will discuss now IoT, Internet of Things, but finally we will move to the next part or the final part of our discussion, that is COT, that means cloud of things. Because nowadays, if you are having only IoT connection, IoT enabled machines, that is not enough, because you have to process the data in a place where cloud should be. What is IoT?
Internet of Things.
What is things? It is a two terms there, internet as well as
Multiple electronic gadgets are connected in a wireless network.
Okay. If I am just taking my phone, is it an IoT device? Currently, it is an IoT device. No. It is an IoT device. Okay. Now, what it is providing? It is sensing the data from the environment. Something has been sensed by this IoT device and transmitted somewhere. Suppose I am here, my location has been tracked, and somebody is tracking my location, and whenever I am moving from one place to another place, it is updated. That means it is generating some data. Now, things. What is things? Is my fan can be a things? Can I convert it as a things? I mean internal things. IoT. Enable কি করতে হবে? What to do? Basic things কি করতে হবে? সেন্সর নিয়ে অনেকজন কাজ করে, সেন্সর দিয়ে সব কথাই, সেন্সরটাই মেইন জিনিস এখানে। সেন্সরের ব্যাপারটা কি, তাহলে কি করা যায় এখানে যদি IoT এনএবল করতে চাই? রিমোট, হ্যাঁ রিমোট দেবো, তাহলে এখানে আমাকে কি করতে হবে? How to change? Where I have to change this hardware so that it will be IoT enabled machine or IoT enabled device.
Connect with the actuator.
Connect with actuator. তাহলে আমার কিছু একটা জিনিস লাগাতে হবে, something I have to install. আমি জানছি না যে কি জিনিস, হার্ডওয়্যার আমি করছি না, but something I have to install in this machine so that it will be an IoT enabled machine, and maybe this AC you want to connect it to the internet. So in that case, before coming to the room or home or seminar room, from my home which is 10 km away from this college, I just want to preheat my room আগে থেকে করতে চাই এসে প্রচন্ড গরম লাগে যেটা আমাদের অর্গানাইজেশন এখন পরে বিষয় থাকছে ঠিক আছে বাট ইফ ইট কুড বি তাহলে আমার 10 কিলোমিটার আগে বাড়িতে বেরোনোর সময় আমি এসিটা অন করে দিলাম in my lab or in my seminar room so that whenever I will just come to my lab or in my seminar room it will be a preheated machine but in that case they should be connected to internet তাহলে here comes all the things which I have discussed earlier that they all have to be connected to internet how they will be connected same manner address some address is there but processing কিভাবে how they will be processed এটা তো একটা পুরো হার্ডওয়্যার মেশিন এখানে কিভাবে কানেক্ট করা হচ্ছে আইওটি অনেকজন কাজ করছে জানে অনেক এক্সপার্ট আছে আইওটি পড়া এক্সপার্ট হ্যাঁ
ব্লুটুথ or Wi-Fi
হ্যাঁ তাহলে ওই RFID এর একটা কনসেপ্ট চলে আসছে এখানে RFID এর থ্রুতে they will be connected to the internet so that they can communicate with the internet connection এরপরে things will be sensor software and other technologies that allow them to connect and share data over the internet this connection enables communication and data exchange between people process okay data exchange কিভাবে হচ্ছে how the data has been exchanged between a IoT enabled device and say for example this AC and the remote controller or say for example you are controlling this device from your mobile phone that means your mobile phone will act as a gateway যার থ্রুতে আমি এটাকে কন্ট্রোল করব তাহলে you need to have a application which is installed in your machine and that application will convert it to some signal or some messages which will send some message to this AC and they will react okay. That means some message transferring is happening behind these things physical device things means physical devices appliances or gadgets internet through which it is connected okay what are the characteristics dynamic and self-adapting self-configuring interoperable communication protocol unique identity I just said that it has to have a unique identity so that it can communicate if I just want to communicate with this AC from my home but due to some problem or if it is not unique identity maybe the AC of some other organization will be turned on হতে পারে so in that case তাই না হতে পারে তো সেটা one thing I have just experienced or it happened with me there was a TV control I mean TV remote of Samsung okay which is same for my home as well as it is same for a neighbor so one day I used to change the channel of that neighbor's house so it is happening in that case some signals are matching with it one more thing এই কমিউনিকেশন আরেকটা প্রবলেম আছে say for example bluetooth এর যখন আমরা স্পিকার ইউজ করি in that case some other bluetooth speaker can be accessed at the same time what are the different components of IoT sensors or devices which I have just said or discussed gateway in that case whenever we are just controlling the AC from our mobile phone in that case mobile phone is a gateway cloud analytics whenever the data has been generated some analytics is there which is just converting the data into a meaningful information okay there are mainly 5 layers perception layer transport layer processing layer application layer business layer there are 5 layers are present in a IoT communications কতক্ষণ ব্যাপার break the তাহলে break the much possible
break yes sir
Okay, sir, a tea break, and after that we will continue.
We will meet here again after 5 to 10 minutes after the tea break. Around 11:30.
এইটি চালানো হবে তো?
তোমার তো মেশিনগুলো 30-35 করে দাও।
40-45 নাকি?
হ্যাঁ 30-35 করে দাও। না বাবা 35 চালাও।
At least clear
বড়
করতে
বড়
পারি।
ফিল করি।
22 করতে দেয়।
এই সার্ভার রুমটা থেকে থেকে তোমার এই 24-21 হয়ে যায়।
তোমার তো তুমি ওখানে বসে থাকো না।
তুমি সাউন্ডটা বন্ধ করো নি না? সাউন্ডটা বন্ধ করো।
discussing, that is the architecture of IoT, there are mainly 5 layers. First, perception layer. What is perception layer? I was talking about the sensors which is used in IoT application or IoT. Now this layer comes under this, these sensors are coming under this perception layer, where sensor used to sense or the environment and take the, work as a receiver. Now as a transport layer, by the name we can understand it is used for transmission the data from after sensing, it will transmit the data to some other part. Processing layer, this is the third layer. Whenever we just receive the data through the internet, through the sensor or the perception layer, it will be transmitted through this transmission layer. Finally, it will be reached to a layer which is known as processing layer. This part or this processing layer actually process the data, because without processing the data, it will merely a data. It needs to be converted into a processed data, which is somewhat known as information, because we all need information to come to a decision. Application layer, we all used to talk about smart cities, smart home. By the way, what is the meaning of this smart home or smart cities? Where from this smartness comes? Smart city, smart home, where from this smartness? What is the difference between a normal home or a smart home?
There are different devices, there's a smart fan, if I can say, or anything like which is connected to the internet. We can control anything like a light bulb. Nowadays there are many type of light bulbs which can be connected to internet, and I can change the color of the bulb through my phone app. Like this, like Alexa is there, we can have this Alexa to turn on my TV, change the light, turn on music. So
that means as per our signal message, it will work accordingly. So there comes this application layer. As per our requirement, if it is a smart home, if it is a smart cities, then this application layer comes under it. Business layer, which is actually the manager kind of things, who used to manage everything. So there are 5 layers. Again, I am repeating: perception layer, second the transport layer, finally processing, the third layer, then application, the application for which we are just designing this IoT architecture, and finally the business layer, where comes the manager who used to manages everything, all the layers. Here is a case studies. See, day by day, the IoT device or the requirement of IoT devices are increasing. If we just go to the year 2010, where per person IoT use was less than 1. In 2010 or 2005 to 10, in this span, the per person IoT device use was 0.8, somewhat like that. But as the day is increasing, it is now currently we are in 2025, more than it is 10 or somewhat like 9.8 to 10. That means per person IoT use has increased a lot. That means if your mobile phone is an IoT device, if Alexa or any kind of device which is an IoT device, that means a single person is using 3 to 4 IoT devices, and that has increased. As the world population is denoted, this blue line is just mentioning the connected devices in the internet, and this is the growth of world population. That means it is growing in a faster manner. That means the connected devices, per person connected devices or internet devices which is connected in the internet, that is stiffly increasing as per the population. So it is somewhat around 20 billion in the year of 2010, then less than 30. Finally, in the year 2020, it is near about 50. Currently, we are in 2025. It is somewhat 70 billion. That means 70 billion connected devices are there. These are the IoT devices. Some wearable devices may be there. Smartwatch is an IoT device. Smartphone is also there. Laptop, desktop, printer even. Printer are also can be connected in the internet. This can be considered as IoT device. So one thing is clear to us that IoT devices are increasing day by day. Now, if it is increasing, they are generating data. Now, as we just discussed, the cloud is a platform where we used to process the data. If your single machine, CPU-enabled machine is not able to process the data in the same manner which a GPU or TPU can, then we need to have a cloud platform, cloud service, so that we can process the data which is generated by IoT. Because the devices connected is increasing day by day. Now, why the IoT and the cloud, they should be connected? Q. Why they are connected?
Easy to see and distribute.
IoT is a separate thing. Cloud technology, cloud computing is different thing. Why they should be connected with us? What benefits we will harness so that for connecting this one?
Real-time application.
For one person for civil engineering department is
Remote access.
remote access. Remote access, okay.
Remote access real-time applications.
Real-time application. Real-time application একটা example শোনা যাক? Any example of real-time application? দুটো তো দুই জায়গায় ছিল। Why আমরা কানেক্ট করবো কেন? We need to clear this why.
Weather prediction.
Weather prediction এর ক্ষেত্রে আমরা হতে পারে যে some data previous data has been stored according to the weather which is sensed by the sensor or the IoT devices, that will be communicated to the cloud platform, and they will take the decision after the processing, and that has to be processed in a faster manner so that the person who will take the decision whether he or she will go for market or go for a walk or not. এই ডিসিশনটা ফটাফট নিতে হবে। তাহলে IoT কে first of all has to sense the data of the environment, finally transmit it to the cloud, and after the processing, cloud will take the decision whether cloud will just process the data, finally give some decision or result, and according to that decision or result, he or she will, that person who is using that app or application, he will take the decision. That means that is the prime objective of this amalgamation of IoT as well as cloud. Okay. See, there are different points I have just jotted down. Unmatched scalability, cost effectiveness, advanced analytics and AI. Nowadays, it is very much important. If you are just receiving the data and processing it, that is not enough. You have to have a AI enabled or ML enabled thing, so that you can also use some algorithm, smart algorithm, so that you can take the decision according to the use. Agility, speed to market, and I am not just reading this one. One thing I can just discuss: cloud providers offer service level agreements or uptime that are nearly impossible to match in-house. In the in-house setup, we are not able to maintain, or we are not able to the service level uptime. That means, say for example, 24/7 we need to have a connection, or we need to have the services. In a service, in a normal environment, it is not possible. Okay. Here we will discuss about the final. We are just in the last lap of our discussion, that is the cloud of things. get the knowledge about it, you have to see the research paper. By the number of research paper, we can understand research paper, books and articles published during 2013 to 17. It is a bit old data, but still average in 5 years it is increasing. Cloud technology is somewhat 4,370. This one is for IoT, and this is the new emerging field, that is 106 number of cloud of things paper are just coming, paper, books or articles published. But as because it is a 8 years old data, currently I haven't able to download, but probably it is increasing day by day. So by this thing we can understand that cloud of things is also a very emerging area where you can just put your effort. Okay. One example of cloud of things, that is SCS or social credit system. It is initiative taken by government of China. They have used this SCS, that is one of the largest projects in cloud of things. It's launched in 2014, and in 2020 it will be a mandatory for all China citizens. The purpose of this project is to evaluate and rating to every citizen based on data that collected from things. That means phone, laptops, vehicles, home appliances. By this data which is generating in the citizens' devices, that will be collected, and after collection they will evaluate or rate each and every citizen of them. It is a cloud of things application, and this initiative was taken by China, government of China, and that is known as SCS, social credit system. Regarding in this, the things will generate billions of data that need to store. This data generate to citizen need to store somewhere and process it. Architecture of cloud, I just said one thing, that nowadays cloud of things are providing basic 3 services: software as a services, platform as a services, and architecture as a services. Infrastructure as a services. But there is a term which is known as everything as a services, XaaS. So your cloud of things can able to provide different kind of services, like database as a services, sensing as a services, that means video monitoring as a services, data as a services. These are the different application area of cloud of things. Okay, this is the basic architecture of our services. One is sensing as a services, and we will just discuss the sensing as a services. There are lots of different services are provided by this. First, this place is the perception model. The perception model which I have discussed, that is the place where the sensors are there. Sensors are sensing the data from the environment, and your S2AAS, that is sensing as a services, where this particular part is the place where this perception layer is there. Because 5 layers were there. Then connectivity, after it is transmitting the data, that means the transport layer, and sensor discovery services, sensor access services, and sensor regulatory services. And these are the application. This is falling under application layer, and these are the part where the manager or the business manager layers are there. Application is the application layer, that means the smart home or the smart cities, which I have discussed. Common security platforms. Have you ever used any COT platform? No, I think those who are working with precision agriculture or this kind of things, they used to or they have to use this kind of application. If they are using this, that will be a better place. AWS IoT, Open IoT, Cloud Plugs, things speak. Now, application areas of cloud of things. The main area of cloud of things is healthcare, where a patient, which is where a network has been formed, which is known as B2N, body body area network BAN, sorry, body area network, where the patients has been sensed by using some sensor, and that data will be converted or transmitted to some layer, and after that it will be processed. After processing, as per the requirement, he may be given some medicines or may be taken care. Okay. So healthcare is a place where that COT is working very well. And smartphone, smart city, these are the places, smart logistic. Okay. Why AWS IoT? I have discussed about Open IoT, AWS IoT, and cloud. Now, out of these 3 or 4 platform of COT, I am just going to discuss this AWS IoT. What is AWS IoT? It is also a platform provided by Amazon Web Services, where you can just deploy your model and get the result, or you can just work with the data. We will just check what is the interface of this. Here also you will have to, if you just want to deploy any model, or if you just want to work with the data, you will have to create an account. The way Shorkat has just told you in the last hands-on session. Probably in Indian currency, 1000 taka then they will provide some credit point, or some point will be going to help you. Okay, this is the interface. If possible, I just want to request everyone just go through the platform which is provided by the AWS or as well as OpenIoT. Now, one AWS IoT driven application is precision agriculture. What is precision agriculture? What is precision agriculture? Day by day, IoT devices are increasing, population is increasing, but one thing is decreasing every day. Water, land, farming land, every day it is decreasing, which is very, very much important. Maybe the devices is increasing, maybe the population is increasing, but if you have car, if you have wearable devices, if you have smart devices, but if you don't have the farming land, where from you will get the food, which is very, very much important things. So precision agriculture is a domain where agriculture can be converted into a smart agriculture system, where you can optimize the land, you can optimize the resources. If you have water, say you have to put 1 liter of water for a particular thing. If it is optimized, you can work with 500 ml. Say, this is an example. Now there is one application, IoT Smart Greenhouse project deployed by AWS Greengrass. AWS Greengrass is also a project run by AWS. Yanmar is a Japanese company who used to provide this greenhouse IoT platform, where they have experimented, and they have increased the amount of crop yield by the services. So Yanmar is a Japanese company, but they are using this AWS Greengrass. Data current world population is 7.3 billion, people is estimated to reach 9.7 billion in 2050. Around 83 million people are added to the global population each year, which is alarming. This growth must be made by corresponding increase to food production. Food production so it's an emerging field. And there comes the cloud. Okay, Cloud Plus, another platform like AWS IoT as well as OpenIoT. It's a platform is a new generation integrated IIoT. What is IIoT? Industrial IoT application. Suppose in the last session of Professor Bidhannagar, he told us that they discovered one device, designed one device, which can be, it is a, mechanical device who can use as a production unit. So a production unit can be controlled by a single mobile phone application from anywhere. So CloudPlux works with this IIoT. Okay. Any question? Thank you very much. It's like short story. Short story te bola hoy je যখন শেষ হয়ে যায় বোঝা যায় না যে শেষ হয়ে গেল. Few more things are there. So it's like that. Anything, though my knowledge is limited, but still I have tried to inform you as per my capacity. If anybody having any question, doubt. Thank you.
আমার একটা জিনিস জানার হচ্ছে ধরো আমরা যে রেগুলার বেসিসে আমরা ইউটিউবে যে ভিডিওগুলো দেখি বা বিভিন্ন ধরনের ভিডিও আছে এগুলো, তো এগুলো তো ক্লাউডে বিভিন্ন জায়গায় স্টোর হয়, বিভিন্ন ডেটা সেন্টারে। তো আমি বলছি যে কোনো ফিজিক্যাল মেমোরি ইউজ হয় এই জিনিসগুলো স্টোর করার জন্য ডেটা সেন্টারে, তাহলে এটার মানে লিমিটটা কোথায়? মানে ধরো প্রতিদিন তো মানে মিলিয়নস অফ ভিডিও, মিলিয়নস অফ ডেটা সার্ভারে যাচ্ছে ওদের ইয়ে, তাহলে ওদের কি সেই হিসাবে ওই রিকোয়ারমেন্টগুলো ফিজিক্যাল
স্কেল ডাউন এর একটা কথা বললাম না আমরা, স্কেলেবিলিটি।
আমি ফিজিক্যাল মেমোরি যেটা সেটাও কি ডেটা সেন্টারে বাড়াতে হয় না এটার কোনো অল্টারনেটিভ ওয়ে আছে? ফিজিক্যাল মেমোরি বাড়াতেই
হবে, তার জন্য অল্টারনেটিভ মানে ওটা কোনো এমন করা যাবে না যে লজিক্যালি কোনো সফটওয়্যার দিয়ে অ্যালগরিদম দিয়ে বাড়ানো কমানো, ওটা তোমার বাড়াতে হবে। এত টিভি মানে এত টিভি তুমি পার্টিকুলার ওই টাইমে ইউজের স্কেলেবিলিটি করতে পারবে। যে এক টিভি তোমার দেওয়া আছে, তুমি সামান্য ধরো 2 GB ইউজ করলে, বাকি ইউজ করলে না, বাকি 2 GB আর কাউকে দিলে, মানে টোটালটাকে ভাগ ভাগ করতে এটা করা যাবে। মানে পার্টিকুলার ইনস্ট্যান্সটা তুমি কাউকে দিয়ে দিলে ফিজিক্যাল জিনিস বাড়বে,
এটা তো একটা বিশাল বড় সমস্যা।
হ্যাঁ এটা ক্রিয়েট করতে হবে, সমস্যা তৈরি হবে। এবং ওটাও আমার মনে হয় কামিং ডেজে চার্জেবল হবে, চার্জেবল তো হতেই হবে। হ্যাঁ গুগল অ্যাডস তো করেই দেয়, মানে আমি বলছি আরও সেই চার্জের ব্যাপারটা আরও অন্য মাত্রা বাড়বে।
হ্যাঁ 15 GB লিমিটটা তো আগে ছিল না গুগলের, আগে তো অনেক
মানে অ্যাডস আর অডিও।
তাহলে কোশ্চেন করে শুরু করি, তাহলে কোশ্চেন আনসার সেশন।
না আমার একটা কোশ্চেন আছে।
আরে আমি তোমাকে করবো কোশ্চেন, এখন আর লাইভ হচ্ছে না।
আমি একটা জিজ্ঞেস করি,
বলো।
AWS তো পুরো মার্কেট আমাদের ইন্ডিয়া নিয়ে নিয়েছে, যা কিছু বেশিরভাগ
পুরোটা ইন্ডিয়া
পুরো ওয়ার্ল্ড নিয়ে নিয়েছে। তো
মার্কেট শেয়ার সবচেয়ে বেশি,
কিছু মিলিয়ন টাকা ইন্ডিয়া থেকে চলে যাচ্ছে। ইন্ডিয়াতে কোনো একটা কোম্পানি করা যায় না যারা মানে না তাহলে ওদের ক্যাটাগরি ইউজ করছে না, সব AWS কেন করছে?
তুমি কি এখন কি গাড়ি ইউজ করো? বাইক কি ইউজ করো?
পালসার।
পালসার, তাহলে তাও ঠিক আছে। হ্যাঁ হন্ডা করলে হ্যাঁ
কোনটা জিজ্ঞেস
ফোন এই দেখো দা ফোন কি ইউজ করো?
ফোন করি
এইটা বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে। Thank you very much.
So if there are any questions, then we can take one by one question. Any question from the students, the master students? Sir, out of curiosity, I do have a question, Abhishek sir. What if the entire thing collapses? How are we actually prepared to tackle this type of situation?
Like which type of situation? That means the
If this cloud all this thing, if it collapses, actually this IoT, this is of no use without cloud. And suppose that everything is automated, even the street lights and all those things are automated. And what happens is some situation comes in which the entire thing collapses. So are we actually in a situation to deal with this type of crisis?
one thing Professor Bidhannagar just discussed whenever he was discussing the vulnerability as well as the security issue. If it is hacked somewhere, then the problem comes. He has just cited one example where our national institute has been normal collapse, then we will have to think about it, otherwise we will have to bear the loss. There is no some other option.
Sir, can this thing collapse anytime? Like as you said, Google has multiple servers. So if particular server is collapsing, there is other servers that are
No, he is telling that everything has been collapsed.
every data center.
Every data center by some process, by some ways.
The possibility is very less.
Very less. Because they have multiple options, or they have multiple ways
for every
backups for
backup.
every problem.
They
can
of course, the possibility is less, but we cannot deny the situation like COVID. The possibility of that thing was also very less. But
Then
it
what
us somehow.
what my previous speaker, that is Devashish Chakraborty, said, that we will have to go to the village. We will have to go to the village and forget about the smartphones. Here comes the
Again,
actual
shifting to the basics, I think.
setting to the business.
Okay. So, if there are no more questions, then we can end this session by a round of applause for our honorable speaker, sir. Thank you. And now it is time for again the article summary discussion. But before that, let me remind you again one thing, that whenever we will be heading towards the industrial visit, all of us need to carry our original identity cards, preferably Aadhaar cards. Okay, so we have already made a group out of the participants for article discussion session, and we will be continuing with this. May I request Shoikat sir to kindly distribute the articles for today's. Okay, thank you. Soft copy,